Hey, hi! It's Friday night. Thank you for coming by Magoo, Tory Magoo 44. I'm here with Mr. Anonymous and his buddy from Norway, too. Alright, so anyway, we are going to go over some questions. I'm going to turn off the stones. Hang on. Okay, so we're going to do What is Scientology Part 2 now. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I was going to go over more of OT7, but I think first we need to build up to that, all right? I just wanted to give you a little peek of OT7. So what's your question, Mr. Anonymous? All right, so tell us a little bit more about the auditing levels and how they work. Okay, how do the other auditing levels work? All right, so this is going to be part 2 of frequently asked questions. So first of all, how did I get in? I got in, I read the book Dianetics. I was in college. I didn't read much of it. I only read about 2 or 3 chapters of it. But I did read about clearing people, and I liked that idea. I thought, wow, this is a lot easier than going to college. You could just do this thing, get trained, and you can clear people. And it sounded fantastic. They have a perfect memory, perfect IQ, no problems, no pains. I mean, it sounded pretty cool, and I really wanted to help people. So that was my thing. That's what I did. And I literally got in a big fight with my dad in college, and he said, well, you've got to go to bed by 10:30. And I said, Dad, I'm in college. Give me a break. And so I had a big fight, hung up the phone, pulled down my shades, wrote because he said it's our morals or no school. Like either you do what we say or we're not sending you to college. So I put, your morals or no school, screw you. And I packed my bags and I hitchhiked from Chicago out to Los Angeles, California, because it said on the back of the Dianetics book, St. Hill, England, or American St. Hill in Los Angeles. So off I went. So I get to LA. As I've told you, it was a little bit weird. I was a hippie, basically. And, here these guys in these uniforms marching around and the organization board and this big picture of Hubbard. And, it was pretty strange, really. It was very strange. And being a hippie, I walked in, and then my friends had said, ask for this guy on the big course. So I said, I want to talk to this guy. He's on the big course. And they said, you can't. He's training. You can come back at 10:30 and you can talk to him. So I said, okay. And I thought, they said, leave your name and he'll call you. So I said, okay, fine. So I thought, sure. I'm going to leave my name. I was a hippie. We were druggies. You never did anything. You promise something, never do it, right? So I hitchhiked back out to the valley, which was many miles away, and I'm sitting with my friend, and we decided to get stoned again. So we're lighting up, we're laughing, we got music going, we're having a great time. We think that's it. That's the end of Scientology. No plan of it ever happening, right? But at about 10:35, the phone rings. Now we're really stoned. And we're laughing, we're rolling around the floor, we're goofing around, and I pick up the phone and I go like this. It's the guy. And I'm like, hello? It was really awkward. And so he said, I'll be out there in 20 minutes. And so I said, oh, okay. And we're like, sure, he's going to come out and see you, Tory. Sure. So we smoke some more joints. We're like having a good time. About half an hour later, the doorbell rings. It's the guy. And he comes to the door and he says, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I want to take you back to Scientology, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. And so I'm like, okay. So now you have to remember I'm stoned, right? So that's part of it. I don't know if I would have actually done it, because when I first walked in, I was like, no way. These are like space aliens or something. They're all in their suits. I was anti-organization. I was in peace marches all the time against war. I was anti-war. They're in their military uniforms. Hubbard with the big picture looked like Hitler to me. So to me, it was all, when I was in, not stoned, looked pretty weird. And I wasn't really up for it. But now I'm stoned and I'm back with him. He goes and gets some beer. And I think, well, he can't be all bad. He bought a 6-pack of beer, right? So we're sitting in his car talking, and I go, well, I don't know, he's got that big picture up there, that looks pretty weird. And he said, yeah, I know it is. And I said, man, I don't know about those guys in those uniforms, they look kind of weird too. And he goes, well, yeah, but they're okay, that's just this little thing. He kind of handled everything I had. He was really cool. Instead of saying, oh no, it's really important, he was like, yeah, it's kind of bullshit too. He agreed with me. But he said, let's go meet the auditors. I think you'd really like the auditors. And that's really what happened. The auditors all came out from this the briefing course. And I just fell in love with them. And I thought, I don't care what these people are doing. I want to do it. And that was the beginning of me shutting down my own critical thinking. Do you see what I mean? It was like, okay, I'll change. I had my thought, these guys are really weird, right? But now I'm a little bit stoned, and I'm like, okay, I like these auditors, fine, I'll do it, right? And that began my little road, and immediately, Scientologists are very much anti-drugs, so I stopped doing drugs overnight. That was it. I wasn't like a big druggie, I was just sort of like into it, trying to find the higher powers I was looking for. So as soon as they said, no, we don't do any drugs at all, that was it. I never did any drugs again. So it was just like, boom. It was amazing for me. But like I said, I wasn't like a big druggie, so it wasn't like I had to withdraw from something or something. It was just like, okay, well, cool. That's it on that. So then, the first thing I did was their communication course, which I, to this day, still really like. A lot of critics don't like it, and they say it's hypnotic, and it may be. It very well may be. But I think it had some really cool tools, and my parents were good communicators anyway. My dad was a broadcaster on TV, was a very good, well-known communicator, and my mom was too. So was my whole family. So it was kind of like I grew up with these people that had excellent communication skills. So for me, it was just kind of neat to sit down and learn why, what makes a communication cycle good and what isn't, right? Because we were all pretty good at it. My brothers were, I was, my parents were. So it was sort of like, okay, but then there are people who can't communicate very well. Why not? And this sort of laid out specifically little steps on things that you could do and drills that would increase your ability to communicate and confront and face someone and acknowledge them and deliver communication and, handle any questions and stuff like that. So I liked it. Plus I fell in love with my husband on it, so that was cool. All right, so there's the communication course, and I'm not sure how much time I've been on this. So let's see. The next thing I did was what are called grades. And your grades, this is a kind of an interesting thing, because years ago when Hubbard started, after Dianetics, he started with Dianetics, then he moved into what are called these grades, right, which is like, communication process, problems, withholds, which are secrets, missed withholds, and the grade 4 is you're always thinking you're right and everyone else is wrong. So you do all of those little ones. I did what are called quickie grades, which is where you just did them in, I think, an afternoon. We did them all. The old days were a lot more fun than they are now. Plus, we were co-auditing, where you would audit me, I'd audit you. So it just kind of, it worked out. I liked it better. It was much simpler, much easier, much more fun, right? And, of course, Hubbard was doing all of his research, so we were all like, ooh, wow, what's he coming up with next? It was very exciting during this time, in fact. Ooh, he's come up with this new thing, right? So then he came out with OT3. Oh, jeez, there's the phone again. All right, I have to go. I'll finish this in a little bit. I'll do a part 3. All right, so anyway, let me get this, and I'll talk to you soon.